So as we go about the webinar, first of all, we try to understand what is the landscape. So in the whole landscape of retirement, unique challenges present itself to single pre-retirees. So, and the biggest challenge for single pre-retirees is that they've got to do everything else. They've got to carry the full weight of everything without a partner. Okay. You don't have a spousal safety nets, which means anything happens to you, it is automatically on you. There's no one to step in, right? And you have one income and one portfolio. You cannot depend on a second partner, second stream of income, or second CPF for an extension, or in fact joint savings. Health and longevity. Singles often live longer and happy, at least that's what the statistics say. But that means more years of health costs, right? So there is a trade. You live longer, the cost of healthcare and medical attention goes higher, right? And high healthcare costs often are a big stress point. So the real risk of living longer, known as longevity risk, is the money running out before life. And there's also a decision fatigue, which a lot of people actually don't recognize, right? As you grow older, your cognitive processes slow down. Every decision overwhelms you. And for a single, there's also a double whammy because there's no soundboard or second opinion at home that you can actually depend on or give you an alternative perspective. So it all, every decision rests on you, and sometimes it actually gets to you. So if any one of you have this conversation in your head, it's not that you don't know or you do not want, but you're tired of having to make every single decision of yourself. That's the hidden cost of being single retirement, the mental load. So as we go on to look at the landscape, the new phase of retirement that we see is both independent and intentional. In Singaporeans context, even single retirees in Singapore context, because of the fluency and everything else, we are also international. Okay, but the fact is, according to data.gov.sg, is that about over 600,000 Singaporeans are singles from age bands 40 to 49, and it's about the same from 50 to 59, and about 580K of people are in the band which from 60 to 69, and these are staggering numbers. So even more, because of this, intentional planning is vital, especially for singles flying solo. And we heard the Prime Minister saying that next year we actually go into the aged society, but even more than that, 1 in 3 pre-retirees are entering retirement single. So it's by choice or by circumstance. So as retirees enter this stage, we want them to enter because your independence is an asset, but it's only an asset if you're backed by intentional planning. And there's two things we want you to be very careful in this modern world. So one is we are living in a world where everything can reach you and access you very quickly. So everything's a hot tip, right? Crypto just buy last, savings bonds sure win. And my favorite is that everyone is a financial guru. And someone who's in 25 years old is giving you a lifetime advice on how to live your life. So, while you go through all this information, you need to be very careful. What you may think you're investing, you may be just be gambling, right? And that is very, very speculative. So, for singles, because you have only one income and you cannot rely on other people's, stability must come before speculation. So, that is why it's very, very important that you set yourself to understand the facts, okay, and choose the facts to guide your decision because you have much of a less safety net than anybody else. So this is just a quote. Retirement isn't about a fixed schedule. It's about the freedom to choose when to stop working. If you see the men, a lot of the graphics that we use in these pictures have been quite well thought of. I mean, this is a very simple graphic, but when you retire, you want to be this person on your left side, very happy, joyful. In fact, opening your arms and welcoming other people in your life. The sun is behind you and everything else, and you're healthy, right? And this is what we wish every retirement to be. But if you look towards retirement, there is the thing about what you're ideally planning towards retirement as versus what actually happens to you. Right now in the workplace, there's a lot of structural changes going on because of technology, geopolitical tensions, and AI. So a lot of time retirement might be pushed out or retirement may be pushed towards you, right? So it's all about the freedom to choose when to stop working. We feel that freedom is what is important for you to be able to choose, to make your choices, and to plan for it as early as possible. So as we go towards presenting the challenges for single pre-retirees, I'd like to take a step back and tell you how we're going to navigate the slides going forward. So I'll be going through the 5 essentials with you, and you can also talk about 5 essentials as the 5 traps. And Esther would come in and she would go through the three pillars, which actually the solutions, all from Esther's perspective. She's a person who's living it. She's a right demographic, and it'll be really interesting sharing on her part. And then we will actually end the webinar with what is the offering for you, right? So before I get to five essentials, imagine you're a single pilot, right? And you're sitting in a cockpit of a small aircraft flying above the clouds, right? In front of you, the cockpit dashboard shows five glowing instruments and dials, each symbolizing one of the essentials, symbolizing things that you need to working well before you can actually fly solo. And while you're flying solo, it operates smoothly. Number one is a fuel gauge. And a fuel gauge symbolizes your income, because income is the fuel that keeps the journey going. Number two is your weight indicator. And weight indicator symbolizes your debt. You want to have as less debt as possible or less load as possible on your flight so that you can go further in your journey, right? An attitude indicator, the altitude indicator, okay, you can call it attitude indicator as well, is symbolizes housing, because housing anchors your lifestyle and you want the altitude to be stable as you're making this solo flight. The radar symbolizes healthcare because it allows you to spot risk early. So if you actually do your diagnostics and you have a proper plans in plan, you can actually mitigate the risk, you can detour, and you can do the right things. And finally, you have your compass. You cannot fly anywhere with a compass. And a compass is the same as a self-reliance plan. It's a plan of your journey, it's a chart that puts everything together.